Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video might be a little bit shorter than average, and that's because there's only 2 spreads in today's video. This first spread I'm making is for my archive journal, and it's actually my Thanksgiving spread. As I'm speaking to you, Thanksgiving has not yet happened, so I don't really know what went on, but I feel like it's going to be nice to have a way to reflect on the things that I am grateful for this year, because lately I feel like maybe it's just the end of the year. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, like being the Grinch, but worse. I hate this time of the year so much. Like, I feel like the more merrier everyone else is, the worse that I am, the worse that I feel. I think I was talking about this last year, but I don't really particularly celebrate Thanksgiving or any holiday that's not Valentine's Day or Halloween. But I do love watching the parade. I do love watching the dog show. So definitely, I am for sure going to be doing that on Thanksgiving. But anyway, as I'm making this spread, I thought now would be a fun time to catch up on some stuff that I've been wanting to talk about, mostly just like media consumption, art consumption, we can say. I think I said in my last video, or maybe the video before my last video, that I watched Sinners. I feel like I had such a unique experience in the sense of like, I really enjoyed all the messaging of the movie, but I didn't really like the movie itself that much. Like, I probably would not like run to rewatch Sinners, but I really loved what it was saying. Everything about conformity, everything about Black people trying to make spaces that always end up getting invaded, who you let into your own communities. Like, there were so many really interesting things that the movie was saying, but I just like, I don't know why I would rewatch the movie, because like as an action movie, like if I remove all the like really amazing messaging from it, as an action movie, I was just like, oh. I love the blues though. Oh, also the Irish music, I was like, oh, why is this so good? Like, let me get in there. Another thing I recently watched is season 1 of Adults. Let me tell you how angry I am about how streaming ruined TV. Because back in the day, you did not release a TV show, a comedy show at that, something that is literally only 30 minutes per episode, not even 30 minutes, because that's with commercials. Without commercials, maybe like 22 minutes. Back in the day, a season of a comedy show, which is already short, would not have been released with only 8 episodes. That is so ridiculous. Companies are so greedy. They're scared they might flop a little bit. A show might not do as well as they think. Like, they're scared they might lose a little money. I bet at worst they break even. Like, oh my gosh, it's so annoying. But anyway, Adults was fun. I was kind of looking for something that would like give me that same feeling as like New Girl. New Girl is one of my favorite sitcoms. I would say in general, like New Girl, The Golden Girls, absolutely love them, and Frasier are probably my favorite ever sitcoms. But Adults is specifically about like a group of, I think they're around like their mid-20s. I'm actually not sure why they're not in their late 20s, because I think all the actors and actresses are actually in their late 20s. I feel like that would have made more sense, but whatever. And they're all a group of friends who live in this house together. And then kind of how when the show starts, one of them is wanting to bring in her boyfriend into the house, into the dynamic, and he also fits in well with them. It's mainly just making fun of Gen Z. Like, I feel like that's a lot of the humor of like, just in general, they find themselves in these situations that are just kind of like crazy. And just also the personalities of some of the members. Like, I feel like Issa is probably the most like, the way like old people think of us, think of young people. Like, I feel like she's probably like, when they're like, oh, these crazy young kids, like Issa would probably come to mind. But I really liked all the characters. And also there was kind of a crazy like romance plotline in there as well. I was like, ooh, I was not expecting that. That also made me very excited for season 2. Like, what are they gonna do? So I recommend watching Adults. If you have like, I don't know, 3 hours, you might not even need 3 hours. If you have 3 hours and want a little giggle, I feel like Adults is fun. And knowing that it actually got renewed for season 2, I feel like made me want to watch season 1 to begin with, because like, why would I watch a show that like, there's not gonna be any more episodes? Oh, I also recently rewatched the 2008 smash hit Picture This, starring Ashley Tisdale and that one guy who's in everything. I literally don't know his name. I was like, was this movie sponsored by LG? Also, looking back at this movie from the year 2025, I'm just like, that's not how phones worked in 2008, question mark. Like, the whole entire movie rests on the premise that like phones worked like that back then, and they really didn't. I loved Ashley Tisdale so much growing up. Oh my gosh, Headstrong. Go listen to He Said, She Said. That's your homework for today. Listen to Ashley Tisdale's He Said, She Said. Actually, music is the last thing that I wanted to talk about, because I love Wonho's new album. Like, I think my favorite B-sides are D&D and Maniac, but like both of the, I guess there was like a pre-release single in the summer, which was Better Than Me, which I listened to all summer. It was so good. And then the new one, the new title track, is called If You Wanna, and it's so good. If you're like me and you complain about the state of music not sounding like it's the 2000s, definitely give at least like the title tracks of Wonho's album a listen. They are so good. Better Than Me literally sounds like something like NSYNC or like Backstreet Boys. I don't know. Those were kind of before my time. Like, that's not the kind of 2000s music I look back on and like, oh, I wish this was still like this. For me, it's more like Usher or something. But yes, love those. Also, NCT Dream just had their comeback, and Beat It Up is so good. I haven't listened to the rest of the album yet. You wanna know why? Because I still haven't listened to NCT Dream's last album, their last comeback. I couldn't even believe they were having a comeback again so soon, and I hadn't even listened to the last album. I am so like, I'm not a music listener anymore. I don't know how to break it to myself. Like, I just do not listen to music anymore. I hear so many people say that they like grew out of K-pop, and I don't really quite understand what that means, but like, I genuinely just do not have time to listen to music at all, period. Also, y'all, what is going on with EXO? Like, here I was gonna be so happy, like, oh my gosh, a full group comeback. I love Lay. Kai and Lay are my biases and have always been, in case anyone cares. SM Entertainment owes me so much money now that I think about it. Like, so much money for emotional damages. Anyway, this spread is actually about Thanksgiving and everything I'm thankful for, SM Entertainment being nowhere near that list. And if you are American, then I hope that you had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm sure I did as well. The last spread that I'm making today is my November reading log. It's kind of on time for once. I honestly didn't give myself a whole lot of stuff to read in the month of November because I think I was saying this in my last video. I didn't want to overwhelm myself at the end of the year. And you know me, I am such a seasonal reader. I love to read things that match with the time of the year. And I just really don't think I could find any stories that were like particularly set during like late fall like this. But anyway, the first thing I read is Shoot Juliet Down, Volume 1. And I talked about that in another video. And then after that, I read Indomitable Zono. It's a manga about two high school students. The main character, he goes to go get like some special food he wants at lunch. And this other guy steals it. And so he gets into this like this battle with him every single day essentially, and he gets beat up by this guy. His name's Zono. He gets beat up by Zono every single day, and he just like doesn't quit. Actually, I really shouldn't even say he beats him up. It's not that bad. It's not like there are bruises and stuff. It's just that every day they fight. And the main character realizes that whenever he like touches Zono's neck, that he kind of like makes a strange sound, and he's like, oh, this must be like Zono's weak point. But then it just like, it turns into more than that. I actually feel like the manga would have been better if it was just like shonenai, like if it was not explicit at all, because the best part of the story was the characters were so funny. I especially thought the main character had such a cute relationship with all of his friends. But anyway, I think I saw that on Pinterest or something. Like, I think I saw like a page from it or something, and I decided to read that. But yes, I finished that next. And then after that, I read volumes 1 and 2 of Love on the Horizon, which I talked about in my last video. Absolutely love that series. So full of just like domestic moments. I loved it so much. And then after that, I read Our Love is Platonic, which again I talked about in my last video. Oh, also, I don't think I ever said in my last video why I didn't like the title being called Our Love is Platonic. I don't like it because it's like, well, their love is not platonic. Like, they're in romantic love with each other. They're not just friends. I could see a title like that if the story was more about like two people who were friends who were like trying to deny that they had feelings for each other or something like that. But like, no, that's not what that manga is about. I really hope it does get like an official English translation one day. That would make me so happy. And then after that, I read Omega Megara Volume 1, which I talked about again in my last video. And the last thing I read was a BL called Love Song for the Defective. It's a manga. I don't want to say that it was a waste of good art, but like, well, let me just tell you what it's about. This guy is in a band with his stepbrother, and he has always had, not always, but like for a while has had romantic feelings for his stepbrother. But of course he knows that's hopeless, and like he's never going to tell his stepbrother about it at all. Like, this is not a manga about trying to get with your stepbrother. He's just, you know, experiencing unrequited love, and the band brings in a new member who is the male lead. And I just feel like there was not time for like the two of them to develop any like feelings for each other. Like, they just didn't really have that much chemistry. It was just like one of the things where it was like, there weren't enough pages. Like, by the end of the story, they were saying, I love you. And I'm like, y'all don't even know each other. But I did think the art was really nice, and I really loved the paneling as well. There was just like something off about the pacing, and I really just didn't like that they were saying, I love you at the end of it. Like, okay. I also reread volume 1 and 2 of If It's You, I Might Try Falling in Love. I was thinking about maybe reading the 3rd volume, but then I realized the whole thing is still set in summer. I don't know why I thought maybe volume 3 was going to be like fall themed. I think it's because the cover is like a very like warm golden light, and I thought, oh, maybe it was like fall. No. So I'll definitely be reading that next year. I think it was good though that I reread volume 1 and 2 though, because they were officially translated and published. So before I'd only read the Scan Team's translations. I thought it was nice at least to read the official ones. I'll have to reread them though next year because I will have like re-forgotten the story. Oh, another thing, I typically don't really mention things when I'm like in the middle of reading them. I really only talk about them once I've finished reading them, but I couldn't not talk about the fact that I started reading Masterpiece. Oh my God. Like, of course, like everyone else probably, I don't know, maybe not. I saw it on Twitter whenever it was just first in Korean, and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so interesting. It looks so good. I kept seeing so much like fan art actually of people drawing certain scenes from it. I was like, it looks so good. And then When I saw on the legend calendar at the beginning of the month that it was going to already be getting an official translation, I was like, oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. So I just had some time to myself one night and I was like, I'm going to start reading it. And I meant to only read like the beginning of it, like the legend translated chapters. I think it was like 10. But I ended up reading, I think, to chapter 17. I was reading, I think there's multiple scan teams working on it, but I was reading the scan teams who they stopped. I do think it is kind of like morally right to stop once something gets an official translation. I know that a lot of scan teams don't, but I just kind of enjoyed that. So I read theirs because I was like, let me not get too far ahead of the actual story because, you know, official translations. I do think it was 17 chapters that I read. The story, I don't know how people can read stuff that is just so good like this, like masterpiece, and not appreciate how like literally 17 chapters in, like those people don't even really like each other. I think in my journal, I wrote that up to that point that there is like a mutual curiosity and definitely kind of like one-sided lust. I just love that so much. I wish I had a word for like whenever couples in stories, whenever they meet under circumstances that are just like, they don't even really like each other that much. Like, I feel like I have a lot of examples in my head, like happy of the end, or even like something like our youth, because it's not so much enemies to lovers. But anyway, reading Masterpiece reignited like why I feel like I love to read BL stories that are just like a little different, a little moody, a little atmospheric. Honestly, I might even wait for the whole entirety of season 1 to come out before I start reading it. But that was everything I read in the month of November, as well as some other stuff that I reread and started reading. And now that all these spreads are finished, we can go put them into my digital journals. I cannot believe that it is the end of November. Where has this year gone? It's weird because January does feel like a long time ago, but also like years go by so quickly to me. Some people say like the days are long, but the years are short. I think everything is fast. Like I think days go by fast, weeks, months, years, all of them. Please try not to stress yourself out thinking about all the things that need to be done by the end of the year though, because I know I'm already kind of starting to be like, oh my gosh, there's so much. There's so many things I want to organize. Even like just with my YouTube channel, I'm like, what videos do I want to put out by the end of the year? What do I realistically have time for? No matter what I might want to release, what do I realistically have time for? Because as I've said in probably every single video for the past 2 months, I don't have as much time to myself anymore. Gratitude. Let's think about the things we are happy about, the things we are thankful for. I'm thankful to you for watching today's video, as always. Everything I used in today's spreads will be my Pinterest board, and the link to that is in the description box, along with the links to all of my other social media accounts, as well as the links to the Google Drive folders for all of my journal deco kits. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll be happy to answer them. I'm seriously so grateful for everyone who watches my videos. I hope that you've had a good end to your November, and I hope that your December starts off even better. I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!